Hello students, today I am going to discuss a part of Unit 3 of Elementary Communication Engineering. These are the contents. Please go through it. We know FM is the process of varying the frequency of a carrier wave in proportion to a modulating signal, and transmitter is a device or transducer. Here, the FM transmitters and receivers are those devices which are used for sending and receiving FM signal. The transmitters are those devices which are used to send frequency modulated wave through a band, and the receivers are the devices which receives modulated signals, and after demodulation it brings back the original signal. Now let me elaborate you the basic idea of communication. First, we have to know that what is communication. Communication is the process of transmitting information from sender to receiver. Actually, communication system is a system that describes communication with many hardware and software tools. That means it is the transfer of information at one time or location to another time or location. Now, its importance. Without communication system, we can't deal with basic electronic component, design of circuit, etc. And also it deals with different data transfer system. Without communication system, analog or digital transfer, actually analog or digital data transfer is not possible. Now, the basic modes of communication. There are following two basic modes of communication. One, broadcasting, and number two, point-to-point communication. In broadcasting, a single powerful transmitter is used which transmits information in all the directions. There are several receivers which receive this information. In broadcasting mode, the flow of information is always from the transmitter to receivers. Remember it, only transmitters to receivers. Examples of broadcasting are radio transmission, TV transmission, etc. And next, point-to-point communication. Here, the communication takes place over a link between only one transmitter and one receiver. The flow of information is generally bidirectional. So, transmitter to receiver or receiver to transmitter through a link. So, to facilitate this, transmitter and receivers are used on both the ends. Example, the communication between two telephone subscribers. I think this is clear to all. In this part, let us discuss various communication applications. most of the applications are very familiar to us. The most common applications are telephone, radio and television. We may also use other forms of communications such as cellular telephones, CB radios, pagers, etc. There are many more applications. These applications are divided basically into two types, namely simplex applications and duplex applications. Simplex applications correspond to one-way applications, that means only sender to receiver, whereas duplex applications correspond to two-way applications, that means sender to receiver or receiver to sender. Now the part is block diagram of AM broadcast transmitter. AM broadcasting is a radio broadcasting technology which employs amplitude modulation transmission. It was the first method developed for making audio radio transmissions. There are two sections, AF section and RF section. There are high and low level transmitter. The difference between the two transmitters is the power amplification of the carrier and modulating signal. Here a signal is passing through the AF power amplifier and another signal is passing through the RF power amplifier and sent to the both signals sent to the modulator. Then from modulator we get modulated output and transmitted through the antenna. There are various sections in the figure are crystal oscillator, which generates the carrier signal which lies in the RF range or RF section. And next one is buffer amplifier. It first matches the output impedance of the crystal oscillator with the input impedance of the frequency multiplier. It then isolates the carrier oscillator and frequency multiplier. And power amplifier, in power amplifier, the power of the carrier signal is then amplified in the power amplifier stage, AF amplifier stage and also in RF power amplifier stage. And finally, the output is transmitted through the transmitting antenna. I think this is clear to all. Now, the block diagram of FM broadcast transmitter. Sufficient frequency deviation can be achieved by applying the input voltage and we can generate FM directly. The indirect FM transmitter block is shown here. The message FT is passed through the integrator. DSB-SC modulator along with crystal oscillator generates the modulated signal. Then it is passed through the frequency converter. At this stage, a crystal oscillator having high frequency converter along with high frequency oscillator generates high frequency range. And from the power amplifier we get the output. Now, there are some advantages of FM over AM. Number 1 is noise reduction. Number 2, improved system fidelity. Number 3, less radiated power. And number 4, improved signal to noise ratio. Now, please note the disadvantages of FM over AM. Number 1, the channel bandwidth in FM is much higher than AM. Number 2, the design of FM transmitter and receiver is relatively complex. Number 3, FM has infinite number of sidebands. And number 4, transmission and reception equipment in FM are expensive because the circuit or the design of FM transmitter and receiver is relatively complex. So, the equipment in FM are obviously expensive. Now, the basic applications. We all know about it, that radio broadcasting, satellite communication, microwave communication, TV sound transmission, TV broadcasting, etc. are the basic applications of FM broadcast transmitters. I think this is clear to all, and if you have any doubt, please feel free to reach me anytime. Thank you.